Are we live? I think we're live. Hold on. Why isn't this showing me? There we go. Alright. I'm late as fuck to the party, but I was out of town. Wait, volume check? Volume check? Hello? Hello? Can you hear me? And of course, that's when the Zelensky and Trump thing happened. And if you haven't heard what the Trump and Zelensky thing is, I don't know where you've been, but basically they started fighting in the White House while they were supposed to sign a minerals deal. But recently Trump said, somebody asked him during today's investment unveiling of the chip manufacturer for $100 billion. They asked, so do you think the Ukrainian minerals deal is dead? And he said, wait for tomorrow. I got a big speech tomorrow. So maybe it's probably about that tomorrow, but hopefully it's more than just that. He also recently said that the US is going to start buying crypto for its strategic reserves. And one of my coins that I've liked forever, XRP, was included. It was actually the first one. So that's exciting. And then, yeah, we'll get started. And then as I remember things, because there's a bunch of stuff happening in the news every day. Ever since Trump was elected, every single day, there's something going on.
Well, thank you very much. It's an honor to have President Zelensky of
Zelensky.
Ukraine. And we've been
President Zelensky with his tracksuit.
working very hard, very close. So we've actually known each other for a long time. We've been dealing with each other for a long time and very well. We had little negotiations.
I don't know if you guys have seen when I do this before. I like looking at how the other leaders act. And Trump. Like, Macron one was really cheesy and like fruity. They kept touching each other. And then they had like a battle of touching each other. And then Keir Starmer, like, he kind of caved under the pressure. He couldn't answer too many questions. So it's just interesting when these leaders come and hang out with free speech. It gets really interesting.
Spat, but that worked out great. I think for both countries, I think for the world, actually, beyond both countries. And we have something that is a very fair deal. And we...
It's a fair deal for Trump and us. But Zelensky, you could tell he's not for it. Maybe he's for it, but
we look forward to getting in and digging and working and getting some of the rare earth. But it means we're going to be inside, and it's a big commitment from the United States, and we appreciate working with you very.
All right, so if you've seen before, I always look at the hand gestures because it's a big thing on X. I don't know why. Look at Trump's right there. He's doing the matrix symbol, I don't know what it's called exactly. That's like your winning symbol, like this. And then Zelensky's doing like the I surrender, fingers crossed.
Very much, and we will continue to do that. We have had some very good discussions with Russia. I spoke with
Russia.
President Putin, and we're going to try and bring this to a close. It's something that you want and that he wants. We have to.
Oh, really? Hold on. Look at his face. He's like, do I want that though?
Deal, but we've started the confines of a deal, and I think something can happen. The big thing is the number of.
The structure motorized pergola system is reinventing
I'm not even a
the way
minute in. How's
homeowners
there an
experience
ad
the
already?
outdoors. The most versatile modern.
Jesus.
Soldiers mostly at this point, but soldiers being killed. You're losing thousands of soldiers. So on both sides, we're losing a lot of soldiers, and we want to see it stop, and we want to see the money get put to different kinds of use, like rebuilding, and we're going to be working very hard. But we've had a lot of very good conversations. I will say,
I disagree
until we came along,
completely.
The Biden administration didn't speak to Russia whatsoever. They didn't speak to anybody. They just allowed this to continue. And I will say that, I'll say in front of you, you've heard me say it 1,000 times, if I were president, this war would have never happened. We would have had a deal.
It's true, and I believe that fully because it's like, so you have Russia versus Ukraine, right? And then you have Europe, who they're allies with Ukraine, even though Ukraine isn't NATO or in the, I don't know, yeah, they're not even in the EU. So when the U.S. gets involved, and especially if it's Joe Biden throwing around $350 billion, it's an imbalance that doesn't have to be there. It just causes more people to die. The war gets crazier, right? So if Trump was in there and the war broke out, maybe he would have sent some initially, but like not 350 billion worth. It would have been a respectable amount if he would have sent anything. But if Ukraine wasn't being like propped up, then they wouldn't have leverage, right? So then they would be forced quicker into making a deal. My opinion.
Negotiated for you without having to go through what you've gone through. But your soldiers have been unbelievably brave. We've given them great equipment, but somebody has to use the equipment. They've been unbelievably brave, and we give them great credit. This was supposed to be over very quickly, and here we are 3 years later. So I give tremendous credit to your generals.
That was so quick, 3 years. Didn't even feel like 3 years.
And
I feel like the war's been going on for like 1 year max.
Soldiers and yourself, in the sense that it's been very hard fighting, very tough fighting. They're great fighters, and you have to be very proud of them from that standpoint. But
I'm very proud.
now we want to get it over with. It's enough, right? We want to get it over with. So,
oh, this isn't an unbiased take, by the way. I hate Zelensky. It's absolutely, this is biased. So if you like Zelensky,
it's an honor to have you here. Thank you very much for coming. We're going to sign the agreement at the conference in the East Room in a little while, right after lunch. And we'll be having lunch together. We'll also
I heard some White House staffers ended up enjoying that
discussing
lunch.
some other things. And we appreciate everybody being here. It's a somewhat of an exciting moment, but the really exciting moment is when we get when they stop the shooting and we end up with a deal. And I think we're fair that, and an honor.
I think the deal might be completely dead now. I don't know how you can return after all this.
To have you, and please, I'd like to say something.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. President. Thank you for invitation, and really I hope that this
I hate this
first document will be first step to real security guarantees for Ukraine, our people, our children. I really count on it.
I don't know. I saw this video earlier where a random dude was walking his dog and then he got sent to the front lines. Yeah. I don't think they really want to fight. If you ask me, it's like I hear what the government says, I hear what the media says, I hear what Europe says, European leaders say, but I never hear from actual Ukrainians in Ukraine, you know? Especially since guys 18 to like whatever the fighting age is for them, I think they raise it to 60. They can't even leave the country. They're probably being forced to go into war. Like, I don't know. It's weird though. I'm sure you guys have seen it too. I've seen these videos of Kyiv, and it looks like regular life over there. But then on the other side, it's completely screwed up war. It's such like, I'm sure everyone's like this because we live in America, and like American politics, you're like, okay, you can have a side because you know what's going on. But then you look like, even say Israel versus Palestine, like you could have an opinion, but it's like, I don't even live there. I honestly wouldn't know what's going on if I didn't keep up with biased news, either for one side or the other side. So it's like, dude, it's so complicated. But yeah.
And of course, we count that America will not stop support. Really, for us, it's very important to support and to continue it.
He's making a play for that security guarantee. But from what Trump said before, I don't think he wants to guarantee that. He's like, in my opinion, I'm like, why wouldn't Europe guarantee their safety? Because when you look at the map, it's like Ukraine next to Russia, and then all of Europe is like back here. So it's pretty dire for them. And I would say, yeah, it's weird too. Like, say Ukraine can't join NATO, but if I think about it, if Europe did put troops anywhere, in Ukraine on that border would be perfect because they would protect the rest of Europe, right? So I don't know. I think Europe would have to do something, which they're planning, but I don't know. I'm just curious what's going to be the final plan? What's going to be the concrete plan?
To discuss it with details further during our conversation, and of course the infrastructure or security guarantees, because for today I understand what Europe is ready to do, and of course I want to discuss with you what United States will be ready to do, and I really count on your strong position to stop Putin, and you said that
there he goes again. Stop Putin.
With the war. I think that is very important, Ben, to say these words to Putin at the very beginning of war, because he is a killer and terrorist. But I hope that...
Okay, but like, yes, Putin's not a good guy. He's not that good. Everyone's good and bad. But like, my thing is Zelensky's not a good guy either. He just parades around and like, it's just weird to me, right? Like, even say for American politics, when he came to visit Nancy Pelosi, or he gave a speech and whatever he was doing, like Nancy Pelosi was parading the Ukrainian flag with him, right? And then I look at Europe, and then Europe is always doing this. Every leader is just like, Zelensky, right? So I'm like, why? And then all the people that support Ukraine, like the leaders, government leaders, not normal people, of course, they're all people that I don't like. So I'm like, it's just stinky. It's really
together
stinky.
We can stop him, but for us it's very important to, to save our country, our values, our freedom, and democracy, and of course, no compromises with the killer about our territories. But it will be later, and of course, what I wanted, we spoke about it by phone with you about the drones production. We have very good drones production. I think the best one in the world.
I heard they dropped like an underwater drone. It's pretty ridiculous. Underwater drone.
For today, because of the war. Yes, and of course, we need very much the air defense. You have the best air defense in the world, and really you helped us under attacks of Russians, and I want to speak how we can exchange the licenses. We're open to share the licenses of all our drones with you, of course, with the United States, and we need licenses for quick production.
I don't think we need his drones. You can keep your drones, sir. Maybe sell them to Europe.
Of air defense. Even after the war, we need our nation to be calm, that we are secure. So that's why we need this air shield. And of course, about this, I want to speak about the contingents. I think that France and UK already spoke to you, and we know that Europe is ready, but
yeah, this is annoying because like they're here to make an agreement, and this guy's over here trying to get into a debate of what else they need.
About United States.
Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. I can't see any Americans seeing this guy and be like, yeah, what a legend. Because it's like, dude, first of all, your war doesn't really affect us that much. We were better off having good relations with Russia. Plus, you've taken all this money. You're killing your people. And then, I don't know, it doesn't make sense. I'm just like, this guy's begging. He's like begging to continue the war because his political career is on the line. But in my head, I'm like, if Trump gets in there and we have a stake, that's as much security as you need, right? If Russia were to attack, then it's attacking U.S. interests and their U.S. investments. So he keeps bringing up security guarantee, but I'm like, the deal itself is kind of the security guarantee.
States, they will not be ready to be as strong as we need. And then the last point, last not least, about exchange, about our people and children. And you know that this crazy Russian, that they stolen 20,000 of children.
You see what I'm saying? Like Trump's trying to get a deal, right? Zelensky should just sit there, take the deal. He's trying to negotiate. But Zelensky's just like trying to make Russia look bad. Crazy Putin, this and that. It's like, now I understand why JD Vance got mad, because he's just sitting here. When you're trying to get a peace deal, it's actually kind of a security guarantee, And then he's gonna do this propaganda on like, oh, Putin, Russia, they're stealing children. Dude, they're stealing children in Ukraine too.
Ukrainian children, they changed their names. They changed their families, relatives. And,
it's like when I watch the Canadian politics, it's like when the leaders try to pull on like emotional heartstrings, you know? It's like the same exact thing. Oh, the Russians are kidnapping 20,000 children. Oh, my poor heart. It's like, bro, you don't care about nothing either.
Now they're in Russia. We want.
Like, how many young men have died in Ukraine that didn't even want to join? They just got picked up with the bus. They're like, here you go. You're going to fight for country now. He didn't care about them. And then now he's trying to use like children like on his side and be like, oh, Russians are kidnapping children. I mean, I don't know if they are or not, but you've probably killed more Ukrainian 18 to 20, 30, 40-year-olds.
To bring them back. And really, it's a big dream, task and goal for me and our warriors.
Yeah, I don't know how to explain it. I just hate that part of it. It's like all these issues are not even in America, and you have one side and the other side, they like try to pull you. They try to use like psychology to like try to pull you in one direction or the other. It's annoying. It's like you never can get the full fact.
By the way, Mr. President, we brought.
See, he's gonna bust out pictures now. I'm waiting for the pictures.
More than 4,000 warriors from Russian prison, but there are thousands more in the prison. I wanted to share with you some images. How it's I've just can I now?
Yeah, please.
Some minute, 1 minute. Just you to understand in what circumstances, in what situation they are, and what the attitude of Russia to our prisoners. That guys, just you before and after. And you see before and after, just you to understand. Now thousands of such guys, ladies and men, there, and that, so they don't eat, they beat them, and they, they do a lot of, bad things. So out of, even during the war, there are rules. Everybody knows there are rules during the war. So these guys, they don't have any rules. You see that? 50, 60 kilograms left.
Here we go. Bring out the pictures.
And
play the heartstrings for the media.
The most important thing is family. AAA shares the same.
And a lot of such things. And I didn't want to show you what the changes with images.
You see what I mean? It's like he's not here in good faith to sign the agreement. He came here with the purpose during this whole thing to bust out these pictures, say crazy Putin, this and that.
Of children, because I will share with you. And I mean, it's looking tragic.
Yep, that's tough stuff.
Yeah, I wanted very much to.
Let's see how Trump responds.
Give you, and you see.
Yeah.
This is pastor, by the way. They stolen pastors because it's not Russian church. They stolen pastors and moved pastors to the prison.
I don't know about that one. I've heard some stuff about Zelensky.
At the end of last year, we brought 3 pastors, and we could exchange them.
Did you say pastors?
This is pastor, you see.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah. So I mean, this I wanted to show you.
That's
and,
very tough.
This. So thank you very much.
He's getting mad now.
Want
You
to
can
get that
tell.
ended, right?
Yeah. Of course. We
And I
want.
think we will.
That was actually a good response. You want to get that ended, right?
And
We have to.
We're gonna get that ended. We're gonna get that ended. Don't worry. Follow.
Thank you, Mr. President. With the, how much money is the U.S. going to put into the fund that is being created today? And
What's that belt over there? Is that the UFC champions belt?
how does this provide long-term security for Ukraine?
Well, we don't know exactly how much because we're going to be putting some money in a fund that we're going to get from the raw earth that we're going to be taking and sharing in terms of revenue. So it's going to be a lot of money will be made from the sale and from the use of raw earth. And as you know, our country.
You know what else I just thought about? Since the US is going to use the raw earth for AI and the raw earth minerals are coming from Ukraine, would that mean that Ukraine would have easier access to the AI That could be a benefit too.
It doesn't have much raw earth. We have a lot of oil and gas, but we don't have a lot of the raw earth. And what we do have is protected by the environmentalists, but that could be unprotected. But still, it's not very much. They have among the best in the world in terms of raw earth. So we're going to be using that, using it for all of the things we do, including AI and including weapons and the military.
It's just crazy. When did the world start revolving around these raw earth minerals? You know, I think that's all from AI.
And it's really going to...
I do know China has a good stronghold on rare earth, though.
Very much satisfy our needs. So it's something that just worked out really well. We have a lot of oil, and we have a lot of gas, we have a lot, but we don't have raw earth. So this has just about every component of the raw earth that we need for computers, for all of the things we do.
And
this puts us in great shape.
And on long-term security for Ukraine, how does this provide?
I think they're going to have...
I kind of want the deal, though. That kind of sucks. Kind of want the deal.
Great luck. I think once we make the agreement, that's going to be 95% of it. They're not going to go back to fighting.
I heard Canada has raw earth too, though.
I've spoken with President Putin, and I feel very strong. I've known him for a long time, and I feel very strongly that they're very serious about it, and we'll make a deal. And when the deal is made, I don't think we talk about security. Everyone's talking about the other day. All they talked about was security. I said, let me make the deal first. I have to make the deal first. I don't worry about security right now. We have to have a deal, because right now, last week, 2,000 soldiers died on both sides. 2,000, and they're losing 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 a week. So as we sit here and we talk, people are getting shot and dying on the battlefield.
No good.
You know, they're
no
not
good.
American soldiers, but they're Russian soldiers and they're Ukrainian soldiers, and we want to be able to stop it. And we want to be able also to spend money on other things. We don't want to. This is a tremendous amount of money, and what the Biden administration did was terrible. They were giving money, but he had no security on the money. Europe, as you know, gave much less money, but they...
Why would someone give another country that don't even really have ties to like that? They're not even really part of NATO, and just give them billions of dollars that they don't have to pay back, that they got from American taxpayers, right? Like, it's a lot of money, and that's why I'm like, this hits me weird, because it's like, this guy's coming back to the White House. This guy's trying to make a deal. They can have a vested interest in the area together. It would be good for them. It would be good for us. And he's just complaining. He's like, with this bitchy attitude, he brings his pictures in here.
Had security. It was in the form of a loan. They get their money back, and we didn't. And now, at least we're protected, because the American taxpayer has to be protected too. But this is an incredible agreement for Ukraine, because we have a big investment in their country now, and what they have very few people have, and we're able to really go forward with very, very high-tech things and many other things, including weaponry that we're going to use in...
That's what I was saying, like, since they're partners together with the raw earth minerals, right? Whatever weapons come out of this raw earth mineral deal, wouldn't Ukraine have easier access to those weapons over others, because they're supplying the minerals from their country? I would think that's kind of like the security guarantee, right?
Many locations.
But how has Russia agreed that they're okay to accept that?
That we need for our country.
That's kind of crazy.
This allows us to do that.
I'm sorry.
Yes, go ahead, please.
If I can just, yes. In the document, there is one of the very important points.
And the thing is, Trump is still being nice to him so far.
If we speak about business and investment, we never had LNG terminals in Ukraine. This document will open. I mean, the next documents, but anyway, here we see in the framework, we see really goodwill for this. LNG terminals for us is very important, and I think for security of European continent. We have the biggest storage, gas storage. We have the biggest in Europe. Yes, yes, and we can use it. Use it for LNG. Use it for LNG, and we will do it. And really, we can help Europe, because Europe really helped President Trump said that they made less support, but they are our friends and they are our very supportive partners. They really gave a lot.
Breaking.
Yeah, really, they did.
Trump halts all weapons sales to Ukraine.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Mr. President, Mr. President.
Mr. President Trump, you have repeatedly called the deal with Ukraine as a historical one. And as a President of the United States, you make historical decisions in other issues which affect America and other world. So what place in the world history do you want to take? And do you associate yourself with any famous historical figures?
Yeah, I'd say George Washington, Abraham Lincoln. I would say I'm far superior to George Washington and Abraham Lincoln.
Damn,
now,
son.
You know I'm only kidding, right? Because when I say that, the fake news is going to go wild. They're going to say he considers himself to be better than Washington. But you never know. You never know. I don't compare myself to anybody.
He used to say crazier things. He used to say crazier things.
We've had a great 35 days or whatever it might be, a month, a little more than a month. We've accomplished tremendous amounts. Not only this would be a very great achievement if we could get the war stopped and get them back to normalization. I think that's going to happen. We've had very good talks on both sides, as you know. But I think we've done a very good job, just generally. If you look at all of the things we've done in 30 days, they're saying there's never been a opening for a president. The first month, there's never been a first month like we've had. And this is one of the very important things. This, to me, is one of the most important things because we have tremendous death taking place as we speak, and I don't want to have that. You know, think of the parents. Think
$36 trillion in debt.
of the whether they're in Russia or Ukraine. Think of the parents of all these people being killed needlessly.
They came to our territory.
Should have never started. This would have, if I were president.
Dude, I saw that. Look at his eye roll.
They came to our territory.
Should have never started.
Zelensky's getting mad now. Let's go. He's getting a little heated. You could. He's gonna explode.
If I were president, this would have never started.
Look at Zelensky's face. Ah, dude, I love it. I love it.
Will you continue sending military aid to Ukraine after you
He just cut military aid to Ukraine right now, like 12 minutes ago, reported.
signed this agreement with Ukraine?
Yeah, we're
The
going to be
question to
continuing.
President Zelensky: do you feel like the U.S. is on your side? That the President Trump is on your side
President Trump.
at this moment?
It's gonna be interesting because you can see him getting mad, right? You can see him getting heated. And now he's asked about Trump. Let's see how he answers.
What do you think?
He wants to know, do you think that, sort of a stupid question. I guess we wouldn't be here if I wasn't.
I think that the United States on our side from the very beginning of occupation, and
I'm surprised he said that, actually.
On our side, and of course, I'm sure that the United States president will not stop support. This is crucial for us. It's
How the tables have turned.
important for us, yes. And Putin, the president speaks about the people and the soldiers which are dying, but they came to our territory, they came to our land. They began this war, and they have to stop. And I think this is the question with...
Yeah, that's like the conflict point right there. Trump kind of says that Ukraine isn't innocent in this whole thing.
Really, the most important question: can President Trump, I hope yes, with some other allies, to stop Putin withdraw these enemies, our enemies?
And that's the problem too. Like, technically, Ukraine lost the war because, like, on the battlefield, yeah, Russia didn't gain as much as you would think, but at the end they gained those certain territories, right? And Ukraine isn't in a point of power right now. They don't have too much leverage. So how are you gonna force Russia to give back all that land. Like, it doesn't seem like a possibility. And then say if you want to get it back, then Ukraine is going to need the help of USA and Europe to go to war with Russia. So that would force maybe China into the war or Iran. And that's when you get to World War III, right? And that's why Trump thinks it should have never started. It should have been negotiated in the beginning. And he doesn't want the U.S. to go to war because that's not what the taxpayers want. And that's why this deal has come to a head now. It's like they both have their red lines, and neither wants to cross the red line. But even then, America and Trump has more leverage than Ukraine. And even Europe, because, Europe's not spending enough on defense. Well, I mean, like, as far as NATO, I think US and Germany have spent the same. But still, without the US, they don't have too much power.
These troops from
even they admit that. They're like, okay, yeah, US isn't our ally now. We have to be more self-reliant and pump up our defenses.
And I think that you asked about the history, I think that if President or when he will stop Putin, if President Trump will bring peace to our country, I think he will be on this wall. I think.
We've had very, very good talks.
What about military aid to Ukraine?
President Zelensky just said that there'll be no compromises with Vladimir Putin. I just wanted to ask both of you. Firstly, are there compromises that you think that President Zelensky is going to have to make? And President Zelensky, is there anything that you think you may be able to offer or bring to?
For sure, the land. There has to be some compromise. You can't just like. It's not realistic to say that Russia is going to leave all of it. They would just say, well, fine, no ceasefire then. And then that's kind of where we are, because then Trump is like, well, no, we're not going to keep supplying weapons and sending more taxpayer money. So where does that leave us? It's just, yeah.
For example, elections.
They can't fight alone, right?
I think you're going to have to always make compromises. You can't do any deals without compromises. So certainly he's going to have to make some compromises. But
see, that's a realistic answer.
Hopefully they won't be as big as some people think you're going to have to make. That's all. That's all we can do. I'm here as an arbitrator, as a mediator to a certain extent between two parties that have been very hostile. To put it mildly, they've been very hostile. There's been a vicious war. There's been a vicious war. You know, it's a very level battlefield, and those bullets go out, and as I've said many times, we were talking about it with Pete, many times the only thing stopping those bullets is a human body. And in the case we're talking about, generally young human bodies are stopping a lot of bullets. It's dead level. That's why it's great farmland.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this war is going to kill more Ukrainians than anything. Plus, I just feel like those eastern regions were mostly Russian speaking. They align more with Russia anyways, right? So it's like, make the little compromise with some land, and then hopefully Trump can negotiate. You get a little bit land back. But at the end, it's better than killing your entire male population, right? Because if you're dragging dudes that are just walking their dog down the street and forcing them to go fight, like, I don't think you're winning that war. And for example, like Russia, if they have manpower, they had the North Koreans coming in, right? And they're willing, like, I don't know how to, like, not that they're willing, but North Korea is willing to send them. But who's there for Ukraine? Like, I don't know. It's so complicated. It's so complicated.
It's great land. It's great farmland, but there's very little protection against the bullets that are being, and other things that are being shot. So all I can do is see if I can get everybody at the table and get an agreement. And I think we're going to end up with an agreement. Otherwise, I wouldn't probably be even here today.
Mr. President, I've got two questions for you. You think ultimately your legacy will be the peacemaker, and not the president that led this country into another war and ended foreign wars? And I've got a question.
I hope it will. I mean, I hope I'm going to be remembered as a peacemaker. This would be a great thing if we could do this. I'm doing this to save lives more than anything else. Second is to save a lot of money, but I consider that to be far less important. So I hope I'm going to thank you, Brian, for that question. It was a nice question. I hope I'll be known and recognized as a peacemaker. This would be a great thing to solve. This is a very dangerous situation. You know, this could lead to a third world war.
If we avoid World War III, Trump needs his face on Mount Rushmore.
This was headed in the wrong direction. If this election were lost, if we didn't win this election, and by the way, we won it by a lot. That was a mandate. We won every swing state. We won the popular vote by millions and millions of votes. We won everything. The districts, you look at the areas of red, take a look at a map. This was a big mandate, and this was one of the things. I said, we're going to get this thing settled. If we didn't win, I think this could have very well ended up in a third world war, and that would not have been a good situation. What was your second question?
And my second question for President Zelensky. Why don't you wear a suit? You're at the highest, why don't you wear a suit? You're at the highest level in this country's office, and you refuse to wear a suit. Just want to see if do you own a suit?
Yeah, problems.
A lot of Americans have problems with you not respecting the dignity of this office.
I will wear a costume after this war will finish.
Okay.
Yes, maybe one.
Maybe something
like yours. Yes.
That'd be great.
Maybe something better. I don't know. We will see. Maybe something cheaper than. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, President Trump. You said yesterday that you have.
Are you going to send more arms to Ukraine in case there's no peace?
Yeah, we're going to have arms to Ukraine, yeah, sure. Hopefully I won't have to send very much because hopefully we're going to have it finished. We're looking forward to finishing this quickly. We're not looking forward to sending a lot of arms. We're looking forward to getting the war finished so we can do other things. But we very much appreciate the agreement because we needed what they had, and we're treating, our country is now treated fairly. Biden didn't do that. He didn't know what the hell he was doing. This should have never happened. This should have never started. But, sure, the answer is yes, but hopefully we won't have to send much because I'm looking forward to getting it done.
Why did Amazon send me $20,000? Because I use Amazon AI. I'm going to show you a way to potentially make money by pairing Amazon with the power of AI without ever selling physical products.
Quickly, very quickly.
Does that mean you'll provide security guarantees, Mr. President?
I don't want to talk about security yet because I want to get the deal done. You fall into the same trap like everybody else. A million times you say it over and over. I want to get the deal done. Security is so easy. That's about 2% of the problem. I'm not worried about security. I'm worried about getting the deal done. The security is the easy part. Security is very nice. Everybody stops shooting. And now will Europe put people there? I know France is going to. I know the UK is going to. I know.
That's what I was saying. Like, I don't know why Zelensky is so hard pressed on the security guarantee when, like, France and England and even Germany and Friedrich Merz is, really a hard supporter of Ukraine. So they're going to put soldiers there, right? As far as security. And then if US has interest there indirectly, like the mining, if Russia attacks that, then they're attacking America. So I'm like, the security guarantees are kind of like falling into place anyways. I don't know why he made such a big deal during the press conference.
Other countries are going to, and they happen to be right next door. We haven't committed, but we could conceivably. We have security in a different form. We'll have workers there.
That's what I was saying.
Digging, taking the...
That's literally what I was saying. Imagine you like Russia kills an American guy that's working on the extracting minerals.
Raw earth, so that we can create a lot of great product in this country. So in that sense, you have something, but we haven't determined that yet. I will say, in speaking to France and in speaking to, and they were here, as you know, last week and just the other day, they have committed to a lot of security. I don't think you're going to need much security. I think once this deal gets done, it's over. Russia's not going to want to go back, and nobody's going to want to go back.
See, look at Zelensky's mad. He's like, no, we need to keep killing. We need to keep attacking. But it's like, dude, you end the war. You set up a situation where, America has leverage there. Europe has leverage there. And then even if Russia does attack while the European peacekeepers are there, then even Europe and America would be like, yeah, fuck that, dude, let's go get him. So that's what I'm saying. I don't know why he's so angry and why he's so adamant that. I think maybe it's a personal thing for him. He just wants to beat Putin, but dude, doesn't make sense to me.
When this deal ends, I really believe this deal is going to be over. Please go ahead. Go ahead.
Mr. President, thank you. You had Mr. Macron and Keir Starmer at the White House this past week. Both.
He's still getting mad. What happened there?
You had Mr. Macron and Keir Starmer at the White House this past week, both of whom praised
chippy already.
the conviction to lead the pathway towards peace.
Yes.
Part of that involved, though, re-engaging Russia in diplomatic relations, something that previous leaders lacked the conviction.
Oh, Zelensky's not gonna love this at all. As soon as the name Russia says Russia's in there and talking to Putin, he's like, no, we only attack. We must only attack.
What gave you the moral courage and conviction to step forward and lead that?
Well, I love this guy. Who are you with?
One American News, sir.
Well, that's why I like him. One American News does a great job. I like the question. I think it's a very good question. It's a pathway to peace. It's a pathway to getting something solved. And I feel that as the head of this country, I have an obligation to do that. Plus, we're very much involved. We got involved. It's too bad we got involved because there should have been no involvement because there should have been no war. And there shouldn't have been October 7th. That would have never happened. As you know, Iran was broke. They had no money to give to Hezbollah. They had no money to give to Hamas. They were stone cold broke. And then under Biden, they became rich as hell. They went from no money to $300 billion in a period of 4 years. And they gave a lot of that money away, and you see what happened. And that's a real mess also that we hope to be able to solve. But no, I appreciate the question very much. I feel I have an obligation to try and do something to stop the death.
The dynamic between these leaders are always so funny to watch.
Sorry, please.
And I do like your clothing, by the way.
Yeah, really?
Even though I think he's a great guy, by the way. But I don't know if you two like each other. But you know what? I think he's dressed.
I like this guy.
He's giving him compliments.
I think he's dressed beautiful.
So I have more serious things than answer on such questions. I will answer on more serious questions if I can. Yeah. So please, about security.
See, he's trying to lighten the mood, and Zelensky's about to start attacking.
And about just ceasefire. We can't just speak about ceasefire and speak. It will not work. Just ceasefire will never work because I'm like the president. I have this experience, and not only me. Ukraine before my presidency, from the 2014, Putin broken 25 times. 25 times he broken his own signature. 25 times he broken ceasefire.
But he never broke the
Minsk agreement. Who broke the Minsk agreement?
He never broke.
No, you were the president. You were the president during.
Never broke him.
In 2016, you've been the president, Mr. President. You've been the president, but he had, of course, not with you, but he had during those periods. He had conversations with our side, and we.
They ain't Trump though.
At Normandy format, the France, Germany, Ukraine, and Russia, and he broken 25 times. That's why we will never.
See, that's my thing, right? Previous presidents were not good actors. Like, they weren't there with good reasons. They didn't have good intentions. They were provoking Russia, right? So I'm like, I get it. That's why when Trump gets in, they don't attack. So the problem is always with European leaders and when America doesn't have Trump.
Accept just ceasefire. It will not work without security guarantees.
Russia.
Security guarantees, maybe President is right about this document and other, but this document is not enough. Strong army is enough because his soldiers afraid, Putin's soldiers afraid of our soldiers when we're strong enough. If we are not strong enough, if we are empty, if our storage is empty.
But again, like, why is that the American taxpayer's responsibility? You're a sovereign nation. Why? I just don't understand why he expects us to pay for that, or even worse, like send our army, our people there to die. When you just make a deal, stop the killing.
We can't defend our land today,
And like, in a way, it's like if you can't defend yourself, like, maybe you're not a real country then. I mean, I get it. It's messed up, right? But at the same time, it's like if you're being mean to Trump, if you're using Europe, if you refuse to get along with your neighbor, and I honestly don't even think Russia wants to take over all of Ukraine. They just don't want NATO on their borders. They want Ukraine to be neutral. So it's like, I get it.
He knows that we have all the world knows that we have meeting. Yes? Why he's using ballistic? Putin today using ballistic on our hospitals, schools, and etc. Ballistic. So he knows that we are here and that President Trump is really have goodwill to stop this war. And you hear now the president. So why he's using? So he doesn't want to stop. He doesn't want. But I hope that we will do it. Really, we'll do it. Security. When we speak about security guarantees, when the Europeans are ready for contingent,
let's get to Vance's part.
I want to buy your house. I can pay you cash for your house no matter what condition it's in. If you need to sell your house,
the systems, and we need to stop. It's not being said. Country. 2% goods.
Should Russia
the war again to pay.
I want to see the explosion.
In the middle to solve this thing. I'm wonderful to speak. We can solve Europe. I think Poland has really stepped up and done a great job for NATO. They, as you know, they paid more than they had to. I'm very committed. The Baltics, they got a lot of. It's a tough neighborhood, but NATO has to, because they are in this more than they have.
President Zelensky the agreement and today for the signing?
We made a deal.
What was the deciding factor?
I'm a business person. We made a deal. That's what changed. I didn't think we were going to make a deal, and we ended up making the deal, so that changed.
Mr. President, what and how do you envision a trilateral summit with President Zelensky and Putin?
I don't know, but well, they don't like each other. I can tell you that. Okay? They do not like each other. This is not a love match. And it's unfortunate. That's why you're in this situation. The United States should not have allowed this to happen. Okay? The United States, run by a man that didn't know much, I'm going to be very nice, run by an incompetent person, very incompetent person, should never have allowed this to happen. I've stopped wars. I've stopped many wars. My people will tell you, I stopped wars that nobody ever heard about. I stopped wars before they ever started. You can look at some of, I could give you a lot of nations that would tell you right now they were probably going to war. I could tell you right now there's a nation thinking about going to war on something that nobody in this room has ever even heard about. Two smaller nations, but big, still big. And I think I've stopped it. But this should have never happened.
Sorry, just a second. About any negotiations. First of all, I want really to tell you, and I think that everybody understands that Ukraine, more than Ukrainians, nobody wants to stop this war. But at the future, any negotiations, it's understandable that two sides of the war, not Russia and the United States, because this is not the war between Russia and the United States. This is war of Russia against Ukraine and Ukrainian people. So these two sides will be at the anyway will be at the negotiation table. Then of course United States, like the strongest partner of the Ukraine, and of course Europe.
That's why Trump holds all the leverage.
I think Europe is very important. I want to speak about it with the president. Yes, Europe is very important for us because we really defend Europe for today. All Europeans really recognize that we are defending line, and they have real life, and our people are dying. That's why they helped us. And also, it's about the NATO. Yes, between, like the president said, you have big, nice ocean. Yes, between us. But if we will not stay, Russia will go further to Baltics and to Poland, by the way. But first to the Baltics. It's understandable for them because they've been in the USSR. You know, they've been one of the republics of the USSR, and Putin wants to bring them back to his empire. It's a fact. And when he will go there, if we will not stay, you will fight. Your American soldiers, it doesn't matter, do you have ocean or not, your soldiers will fight.
Mr. President, would you be willing to visit Ukraine, maybe Kyiv or Odessa, which is known to be at the riviera with Black Sea?
It was my question.
I'm sorry.
I don't want to talk about Odessa now. Let's not talk about Odessa. I want to talk about making a deal, getting peace. We don't have to talk about Odessa, but a lot of cities have been destroyed. There are a lot of cities that are not recognizable. There's not a building standing.
No.
And a lot of
things
have
Mr. President, you have to come and to look. No. We have very good cities. Yes, a lot of things have been destroyed, but mostly cities alive, and people work, and children go to school. Sometimes it's very difficult. Sometimes closer to front line, children have to go to underground schools or online, but we live. Ukraine is fighting and Ukraine lives. This is very important. And maybe it's Putin is